Hello, I'm Optimus24 and today we'll be covering all the Transformers, or at least most of the Transformers, so far in the trade paperbacks of the Energon universe. There'll be more of a focus towards the first wave of what was collecting the hardcovers, which is the first two Void Rivals, Duke, Cobra Commander, Transformers Volume 1 and 2, but I do have Volume 3 and Scarlet, and I do have the latest free comic book day, but I cannot find that at the moment. That's somewhere up on my shelf. But we'll begin with the only one from Void Rivals, Volume 1. With Jetfire getting the opening role of the Transformers in the first volume. But I don't know if the free comic day is in the back of this one or not. No, it's not in the back of this one, it's in the second volume. We do then get a couple, I just need to skip a bit into this. We get Springer in a pretty epic introduction to one of the greatest wreckers that Transformers has. And we do much later on in the free comic day chunk, I believe, get another iconic. Where is it? Surely it wasn't. Was it not in the free comic day? Was it right at the beginning? Yeah, it was at the beginning instead. Sorry, not the free comic day. We also get Hot Rod. Spring and Hot Rod and Jetfire being the trio shown off in this volume, but I will have to note that Wheelie does appear in the latest free comic book day, but I do not physically have that yet because I think that's volume 4 of Void Rivals, or volume 5, it's one of the two. So Wheelie is not going to show up in what I'm not going to be able to show any images of Wheelie in this. But that is all the Autobots and Decepticons who I'm aware of that appear in Void Rivals so far. Now for the G.I. Joe side of things. I don't have the slightest clue about Destro. I don't think any of appear in Destro. But we get Starscream. As basically all of the ones it's right near the beginning, isn't it? Yeah. Starscream gets a flashback cameo to in Duke. But also right at the end we do get, it's right near the end, sorry, you're going to have to give me a moment. That's the free comic day, we don't want the free comic day, yeah. Right at the end, we do get a glance at Optimus, making Starscream and Optimus getting noticeable, but not major, very minor, noticeable appearances in Duke, meaning linking the G.I. Joe side of things to the Transformer side of things, which I will show off a lot of Autobots and Decepticons in this in a moment, because that's where a lot of them are, compared to the 3 in this, and very few in Duke. I do believe Scarlet has none, so we are going to skip over Scarlet in this, but Cobra Commander has the first appearance of a very major Decepticon, if I am not mistaken. Where's his conversation with? He has a nice conversation with them. Yes, Megatron. First gets appearance here, but also when he looks through Megatron's memories, we get what seems to be one of the Blue Guardians. We get what looks like Kickback. That looks like Sun or Nova Storm. I can't remember. I think that's Sun. I think that looks like Sunstorm. That looks like Acid Storm. That, my guess is he's just meant to be generic. Same with the light blue one down there. You could say that's Bitstream, but probably not. That up there looks like they're potentially at least meant to homage kind of Optimus and Ultra Magnus's kind of colour schemes. That seems to be a purple flying one. That I'd like to say is Power Glide. I think that it's Power Glide. That's obviously Cybertron. That I'd like to say is the blue and white style for Sunrunner, but it probably isn't Sunrunner in actuality, but that's who I think it's closest to. And then we of course have another blue Seeker down there who I'd like to say potentially could be Thundercracker. And another green one there, some yellow one. some red and yellow one. But yeah, a bunch of just generics mostly. None of them are probably named characters. I mean, that one could genuinely be Powerglide, and that could genuinely be Kickback. But otherwise, I genuinely don't think any of these are ever going to be confirmed to be any named characters. We do get shown on smaller scale, like up there, alongside Optimus Prime from his final battle with Megatron, which is one of the last things Megatron remembers. And this does set up Megatron's minor appearance later on in the second or third volume of Transformers. You will see what I mean you might see what I mean in a little bit. Later on in the G.I. Joe side of things, I do know there is further appearances of Optimus through... I believe Optimus gets at least mentioned or shown off in Destro. I haven't got Destro yet. Might not end up getting Destro, but I believe Optimus gets later appearances, and Hound does appear in the G.I. Joe series as of the first volume, which I do not know if it's out yet or not yet. I believe it probably is out, but I will have to check that, and I haven't got it yet, either way. Now, onto the final trilogy, which this is where you're going to find most of the Transformers. So we start, obviously, Optimus Prime is major early moments in this. Strictly speaking, that's the first appearance of Shredhead, but we're not going to count the Shredhead's body yet. We'll count Shredhead when he physically appears. I'll just skip a bit because, as you can see, Jetfire or Jetstorm or whatever, he returns, and you very quickly get to encounter Starscream and Bumblebee here. If you've read the comics, you do know what happens to Bumblebee and what nearly happens to Jazz down here. I don't think many others appear. Yeah, you get a glimpse of what happens to Bumblebee just there. In this kind of sequence, there is a lot of characters shown off. But yeah, Optimus wakes up, and we will very quickly get on to Ratchet also waking up, giving Starscream at least something in return for what happened to Bumblebee, his fellow trilogy mate from the War for Cybertron games. And then, of course, we get Skywarp and Soundwave. The trailer, which seems to be lying atop another Bumblebee and another Starscream. And what I would like to say down there is either Trailbreaker or Windcharger. And some green Autobot. Probably never get a lot of these guys revealed. But yeah, we got Wheeljack here as well. A green one, which I initially would have thought was Hound, but Hound has been seen elsewhere, so don't think that's Hound now, but I think that is Sideswipe there. It's the red one. I think that green one might instead be one of the others. That green one. Who's another green one? I'm trying to think who the green Autobots. I mean, it could be Matuk. I really hope it'd be Matuk, but I doubt it'd be Matuk. There's no honest way it'd be Matuk, most likely. But yeah, you also get Ravage. Yeah, Ravage down there, nibbling Optimus's arm for a little while. Reflector and Thundercracker do almost come about in the first issue, before we kind of get a brief break from a lot of the new characters being shown off, for Optimus to get his acquaintance with the local wildlife, before, yes, we get Cliff Jumper, who is absolutely blown up due to this run. And we also get Brawn. I think that is Ironhide, Prowl. Let's say that is a white and blue Mirage. And of course, Wheeljack gets a brief return, and Optimus, not Octopus, Cliff Jumper and Ratchet do continue to consistently appear alongside Starscream, Soundwave, Scars, and Skywarp. You get the link into what's happening at in G.I. Joe, which sets up the Duke series, which you have seen now and I would recommend. Oh yeah, before I forget, Laserbeak is here, and they do have with these cars set up for Prowl, but I don't think Prowl's going to appear under Daniel Warren Johnson. I think Prowl is going to be left out for a whole nother generation. Then I believe we're soon coming up on the first set of war flashbacks. Oh no, wait, there might be more flashbacks earlier. Oh well, the war flashbacks don't show you many characters who haven't appeared elsewhere. It's the second set of them that show you the characters who haven't appeared elsewhere. And I think the second one's come after Optimus has lost his arm. But yeah, you have the battle for the hospital, which introduces us to Jazz. Absolutely awesome character. Can't wait to see more of him. He's especially good in like the 1985 Transformers annual, with his Hoist and Jazz Spotlight kind of story arc. But yeah, Optimus then reminisces about the war and everything before we do get what is basically the most notable thing from Skybound iteration. And then, of course, Starscream brings more guides back, and we see a contradictory Megatron frame, so there's probably more to that story. But yeah, we also get Blaster here, briefly, and what I would like to say looks like Red Alert and the Yellow Cliff Jumper. But looks like Blaster has been killed. So, sorry to all you Blaster fans, he is probably dead. Same with, I think, Red Alert, which is the one I care about more, because that definitely looks like Red Alert. Before we get to carry on a bit further, and we get introduced to Frenzy and Reflector. Oh, and Thundercracker is back. But don't get too attached to these two, just a heads up. And then we also do get, finally, Wheeljack alive. This kind of crane thingy. And we get RC as well. Those are about the end of most of the characters you see for this book. Before, the Constructicons. They do appear. You do have all the original Constructicons. I think Mixmaster, Scrapper, Scavenger, Bone Crusher, and Longhaul, I believe, are their names. Mixmaster, Scrapper, Scavenger, Longhaul, Bone Crusher. That's 5. There's 6 of them. I can't remember the other one's name. I'm so sorry to that one I've forgotten the name of. And the only one I can actually tell you which one it is I think. I'm just going to have to trust that doesn't. No, that's going to bend over. I'm going to put my foot there to stop it. I believe that one's Longhaul. Otherwise, I cannot tell you which one is which. But yeah, they form Devastator, as you can see. And those are all the Transformers in Volume 1. I'm just going to put that there for a second alongside its sleeve, because I like keeping that one safe because it's a really nice comic. Volume 2 introduces us off the back to another wave of characters. You will be pleasantly surprised, I would hope, from the opening with Huffer, Warpath, and Cub, and Elita 1. Especially for those who absolutely love Huffer. He's treated with all the respect and dignity most fans think he deserves, because he is a bit whiny. I was a bit disappointed Huffer got killed off. Took me by surprise. It was the first issue I actually got of this one, because I have it in the B cover in single issue format. But yeah, that was really cool. And you do briefly get allusions to members of the Combaticons. The only one I can actually tell you directly is Vortex. But yeah, as you might be able to tell, the others aren't overly fortunate as well. But that's not relevant right now, because we get Ultra Magnus. As you can see in all of his glory, that's how you remember Ultra Magnus looking in G1. That's exactly how he's always looked. Don't question it, it's definitely how he's always looked. But yeah, from there, we do get Rumble. I don't remember seeing Rumble in the first arc, but he is now present, and that is where we stop for new characters for a little while. Cliffjumper does get this amazing just look of him here. I don't know why, but this artwork is my favourite in the entire just run. This one little artwork of Cliffjumper here. So I'm just highlighting it. It's just my favourite one. I know there's much better artworks later on. But we get more of the Autobots. Decepticons are up. This is nearly where we're at the point where the next character gets introduced. But oh yeah, I forgot a character from Void Rivals Volume 1, didn't I? Well, we'll show him off in a moment, because he does appear later in this arc. But Astro Train is here, being freed from his imprisonment quite menacingly. And Jetfire does get brought back from his death in the first arc. But the Decepticons do get a minor companion to join them. He did appear in Void Rivals Volume 1. I forgot about him earlier on, but he is there. I might get up that frame in a moment, but yep, he is about. And from there we only get one more new Transformer for the rest. Actually no, I'll get to pop appearances of the Combaticons. You've got Onslaught, Swindle, Blastoff, Vortex. Brawl does appear at some point. I think that's Brawl. Wait, was that the one I called Onslaught a moment ago? Yeah, no, I think that's Brawl. And now we have one last noticeable character. You might be able to guess. That is him. The noticeable character, I do believe. Beachcomber. Actually, such an interesting character, especially through this. But that is where Volume 2 comes to an end. And we're on to the final book that I'll be showing off in this. Volume 3. I know my intro and outro won't be here, but because this is recorded on my phone, I normally record on my PC, but oh well. We have Brawn. Definitely not long for this world. He did cameo in a different one, but yeah. Brawn is present. And I believe Brawn is, for a lot of this, he's almost the only new character. But for the Autobots and Decepticon side of things. But we do get Genvo. Really fun, neat character. At some point we do bump into, Cup does return. But this is a flashback, so not too relevant. But Omega Supreme is also there. Yeah, he's absolutely massive. I think I passed the one you get better shot. And you do get Overcharge. Overcharge is there, and one other in this flashback, I think, which is, where is he? Could be Grimlock. Could be another, it could be Red Alert. Could be Sideswipe. Anyone with a cannon on his shoulder, it could be, to be fair, who has ear bump up thingies. I know it's not Hound, but it could be any of the other real guys with cannons on their shoulders. I don't know. You get a brief appearance of Bumblebee. Before, give it a couple pages. No, that's the G.I. Joe subplot, which is interesting if you get a chance to read these comics too. But you get this amazing looking trio. The green one, I can't help but think, is inspired by Skater from G1. The G1 Target 2006, because he does have similar colour scheme and a relatively similar design to this one-off throwaway background character. And the purple and blue one looks like Motormaster, kind of. But yeah, once again, they don't make it too far. Well, their companion doesn't make it too far. I don't know if... What I'm going to say are... Oh yeah, the one that's Skater-like one and the Motormaster-like one, don't think they make it too far either. Alongside this entourage of other unnamed Cybertronians who get murdered by Starscream. Before we're done with characters for actually a fair while. Like, all jokes aside, we then have Blue Streak Blur arrived to help Cliffjumper after he's been trapped on Cybertron now. And they do have such a gracious reaction to their good old friend Ramjet. Yeah. And then we get Trailbreaker. He does, I believe, appear briefly in the background in a prior issue, I think in volume 1, but I didn't spot that when I was going through earlier, so I'm just going to ignore that for now. But yeah, we get Trailbreaker now. Next guy to be revived, totally. Yeah, no, he is actually the next guy to be revived. But yeah, and then we're back on Cybertron briefly, but yeah. Don't worry. There are some epic moments that you will get to see if you read this comic. But yeah, Trailbreaker does live, don't worry. Though he seems to just be here as a background character so far, which makes me feel very much like he's being set up, he was being brought in, given a little bit of time to appear in the background, not done anything major, to either be left as a character the next writer wanted to use, or he's there to be killed off. So I don't have high expectations for his survival. But yeah, I believe, isn't Blades on this page? No, Blades is later. Sorry, I was overzealous on my accumulation of when Blades arrives. Yeah, Blades does get his appearance here. The only Protector bot to appear. And Daniel Warren Johnson, I believe, has confirmed none of the others appeared. Oh yeah, Warpath lived. I don't know if I mentioned that. Warpath lived earlier. But yeah. The Autobots do go out and save something. But we do also get Frost under his leader Ratbat. And they don't do too hot. Yeah, the whole battle over here, not too relevant. Everyone else saves tons of people, like dozens. Trailbreaker, not really feeling up to it today, just decides to save one singular dude because Trailbreaker just he saved those 2 children earlier. He doesn't need to save tons of people like everyone else is. Everyone else can save like 50 people. He saves 5. He saved 2 children earlier, so he's excused. You don't argue on that. He needs his beauty sleep because he was sleeping so long. Well, I mean, I'm joking. He does actually save other people, but still, he's only got 1 in this panel for no reason. It's hilarious. But we get the moment, the arrival of Shredhead, who does, the very beginning of the next one, get a nice introduction to Carnavac, Bitstream, and Hotlink. Don't get too attached. Shredhead shreds Hotlink, Carnavac, and Bitstream. Well, Bitstream could actually be alive. None of the others could. Bitstream has a chance of actually still being alive because he only lost his arms. And Ultra Magnus is repaired by this point. He'd ran away in the last arc after being repaired, but yeah. I want to say there's only 1 more major character to arrive in this arc. If I'm mistaken. Megatron returns with Laserbeak. And he revives Ravage. Just coldly walks up, says nothing other than be silent. And revives Ravage with his own spark. And yeah, that is all of the noticeable characters so far. I do know that Slingshot, Silverbolt, Air Raid, Skydive and Firefly have been brought back since this in the 4th volume of Transformers. And I believe, unless there's someone else I don't know of, that is every Autobot and Decepticon so far in the Energon universe. Long may Slingshot rest in peace. I'm not going to say any further than that. I really do hope you guys have enjoyed. I've been Raptor Monster, and this has been another video.